What's going on, guys? I hope you are enjoying your day. Just wanted to cover Bitcoin with you all at this time. I'm seeing some interesting things develop on the chart. So I'm going to start with the daily chart for today. So yesterday's candle close, if you've noticed here, we actually closed above the 9 EMA for 2 consecutive days, potentially going on 3. So that is intriguing. We have not done that. Oh, whoops. We have not done that in a very, very, very long time. Very, very long time. It's literally been since like late May, early June. We've even kind of like played around above these levels. It's been a long, long time since we've seen some price action above the 9 EMA, respectively, right? So, um, why is this important? Oh, excuse me. Why is this important exactly? Well, it breaks trend because for a while now we have seen price below the 90 EMA, with the exception of these past 3 days, uh, in literally months. So that is pretty new. Volume is still low. It's not where I'd want it to be, but there is a consistent trend coming about here that I want to take in consideration for the next couple of days. Now, just to kind of add on to the validation of this kind of bullish momentum, we are seeing on the daily MACD a waning scenario still playing out, but in now higher term time frames. I was kind of addressing this particular money flow slope a couple days ago, but like on the 2 hour, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, but now we're seeing it on the daily. So that's intriguing to me. Um, Now let me go to the TSI. So we kind of did have a fake out here. We had, let me do some measurements here. We had uh, essentially 5 days, well, 6 days. Yeah, we had 6 days of a fake. We had like a fake out that lasted for like 6 days. We had a cross above here, but we kind of had that like, no, I'm gonna reverse for a little bit. Um, but yeah, we are seeing some interesting things develop here as well. So the TSI indicator has now flipped from red to blue. So that's a daily indication that I really like put a lot of onus on. So it's a lagging indicator, but it shows positive signs. As well with this TSI indicator, it gives you exact numbers, which is beautiful. So at 18.609.29, as long as price is above that, we're going to see continuation to the upside. Also on the MACD, these bars have turned, bullish as well, and we have the indicator, which is below the zero line. It's not ideal when this is below the zero line, and price is moving up. It just means that it's not going to be as parabolic as it would if it was up in these zones. But still, it is pointing up. We've been down here for now how long? I guess since this particular trend, since as of today. Yeah, 92 days. It's been it's been 92 days of just straight up bearishness. We've been in the negative for a long, long time. There has to be some form of relief, In these markets, there's no such thing as like down only or up only. There has to be eventual, you know, volatility takes in consideration. You got to take that in consideration. There's a lot of people that are opening up fresh shorts in these situations. Like, are you kidding me? That's crazy talk. Anyway, now on the daily as well, I want to show you something that's really intriguing. So, there's this former hedge fund manager that I've been talking to and stuff like that, and he uses the RSI like exclusively. Uh, and he has this little trick of the trade where he says the 34 on the RSI is usually an indication. A cross up on the 34 is very, very bullish, and that's showing up on the daily. RSI is currently above the 34. So that to me is another indicator. Now, I'm more of a line pattern type of guy. Like I truly believe in like support resistance levels. And we still are below this macro resistance on the daily chart, but we're getting damn near close to resolution, in my opinion. We are days away from this resolution, in my opinion. At most 2 weeks, at most. Could happen earlier. But anywho, yeah, so there's a lot of really good things to look at on the daily, which I haven't been able to say that in a long, long time. Okay, so now let me zoom more in onto the 4 hour and let me do exactly what I did, but more so in closer proximities. Now I like the EMAs a lot here. The 9 has been tested multiple times. It flipped from resistance to support, is acting as support. Now price is literally testing and weakening the 100 EMA. So what happened the last time this was blue? So I like to look at how slanted this is. The more slanted this is, the less true it is, if you catch my drift. Meaning, this is too intense of a slant for me to even consider any macro reversals. Okay, but look how this is slanted. It's weakening, right? It's still slightly to the downside, but it's significantly weaker in terms of trend than this last attempt right here. This was roughly 3 days. Started on the 24th, 25th of June. You know, it just wasn't really credible because we hadn't seen that since this parabolic dump to the downside. Now here is a different story because the 100 EMA is it wants to go horizontal. So what does that mean for me? Stagnation is what it means for me. Stagnation and potential reversal for the time being. Now another thing, I have an indicator called the support and resistance indicator. We're closer to support than we are to resistance. Okay. Last time we saw resistance, these are projected resistances. These boxes, just on a side note, these red boxes and teal boxes, because this is more so a different strategy. I'm using more so candle closes on the daily, weekly, 4-hour charts to kind of get to these assumptions as to where potential resistance will be at when price is near it. This support and resistance indicator is a different cat altogether. Last time we've seen resistances where it was up at these levels in late May and early June. That's the last time we even seen any resistances. Now, as you can see, we are closer to resistance as we are to support. So until I see a resistance line on a key time frame, like the 4-hour, for example, like how we are, I can't be bearish. We are closer to these supports than we are to resistance. Not only that, did we break out of this broadening descending wedge pattern, which I did a candle close measure move, and I believe it was at 22.6 last time I did it. Let me do it one more time just for confirmation. Obviously, you know, there are resistance lines and key levels of resistance that are near and dear to this, so it might not play out fully, but the projected breakout target of this is near 22.6, 22.7. So from that perspective, I am still in a long. I'll be honest with you, I'm still in a long. I'm still bullish on this price. Now I'm not saying to open up a fresh long by no means. We are currently experiencing multiple candles. I believe 12 hours of bullishness. Yes, 1.95%. And it played out thankfully. I mean, I'm no freaking Nostradamus or anything like that, but it was just kind of obvious in regards to support resistance levels, previous resistance, support, resistance, support. So this is a crucial line in the sand at 19.8. So I was thinking, okay, price broke out of this pattern, okay, and needed to find support. Now, all this price action happened on the weekend, so of course there's going to be anomalies and stuff like that. But trend decided to bounce at 19.8. So we are at a horizontal line of support right here with confluence, meaning the 9 EMA. So do I think it's going to break above the 100 EMA on the 4-hour? I have an inkling of yes for the time being. Like I said before, I don't see any indicators. Uh, my significant reversal indicators, they're not popping up by no means. So we're kind of in the middle of a bullish breakout. Now, um, can we see some resistance here? This was considered a previous high. So where would I see turbulence or resistance or maybe even a reversal? Uh, I'm looking at this line right here at 20.977 because of the 4-hour candle closes at that point, at that level. Also, I do have some resistance lines right here. So that's still in play. We do have a bullish engulfing candle at this time now. There's still 22 minutes left on the clock to confirm this bullish engulfing candle above this resistance line. But yeah, let me go back to the 4-hour. I kind of just went off on a tangent. I wanted to show you some more indicators here. So, money flow. Money flow is pointing to the upside. Now, what I don't necessarily like is price is kind of, it's not oversold by no means, but we are seeing some bearish divergences accumulate. So that's something I am a little concerned about. And it's kind of like near this particular zone on the 4-hour. So I kind of would still expect the 9 EMA to be somewhat of a support. So if I were to turn off the candles really quick, I don't like putting my entries near candles at all. I turn off the candles and I put emotions aside and I look at where the EMAs are at because that's where the price will eventually go to at some point. These assets are super volatile. I would not go off of candle opens or closes. I would go off of EMA entries. And also, if you do like a limit order, for example, you can get sweet discounts. Market orders, you have to pay more of a fee. Limit orders, you pay less of a fee. You do have to wait to get your price filled, which it may or may not. So that's the caveat. That's why you do get a discount. But yeah, as far as entries are concerned, I'm looking at 20.141 as support. Now, this isn't financial advice by no means. This is more so just like a projection as to like what I would do if I wanted to get in on a long position. Conversely, if I got into a long or whatever at say 20.14, where would my invalidation zone be? It would be at 19.844 or like somewhere below it, frankly. I would actually try like a little below it would make sense. So uh, I would put it like right here where the 9 EMA decided to not dump anymore. Yeah, so it'd be at 19.714, right? So you kind of have a 2% risk to, a 2% risk ratio. It's not bad at all. But anyway, that's just kind of like an example from a trader's mindset, what could be done. Okay, this is not financial advice by no means. Just kind of like giving you kind of my logic in regards to what I'm seeing. But anyway, the TSI. The TSI not only crosses zero line, which usually these are the more parabolic instances, now momentum's to the upside. And not only was it back tested, but it's now continuing uh, to the upside. So that's really nice in my opinion. So now going to the MACD, we are seeing a fresh reversal in regards to momentum. So there was a dumpage, and obviously, when this was happening, it was around the zero line. These are usually fake out zones, so yeah, we kind of had some like choppiness, consolidation, but at the end of the day, there was a breakout. So positive momentum continuing. Now there was a divergence, there was a bearish divergence here, but due to the EMAs now acting as support, this was invalidated because you now have a higher candlestick. Now there's still an hour to go to validate this this invalidation, if you will, of the bearish divergence. But really what I'm looking at is the RSI as well. The RSI is above the slow moving average, and it got rejected off the bullish control zone here. This is the bullish control zone on the RSI, but it looks like it wants to test it out again, so that's kind of interesting. The TMA as well. The TMA is obviously pointing up and it is green, so that is good in regards to macro moves. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in to the 1 hour. The 1 hour is one of the reasons why I wouldn't necessarily open up a fresh long right now, because we do have waning money flow, okay? Waning money flow, and momentum is now at the 60 line, so it is heading into the oversold territory. So there has to be a cool down at some point. But what's kind of cool here is the TSI is still pointing to the upside. It got rejected off of this 25, so there is kind of like this lower high action. So if the TSI prints a higher high than the last, then I would say game on, price is still going up. But if there is a candle close where the TSI goes from yellow to gray and back to red, like this, then yeah, I would say just hold out, just wait for a better entry. Now, I don't like to make decisions off of the 1 hour. I just like momentum on the 1 hour. I actually like the 4 hour confirmation with the 15. I like that combination. It does well for me, bodes well. And if the daily trend and the 4 hour trend and the 15-minute trend are the same, then that's usually a great sign. That checks off all my marks. But anyway, now let's go to the momentum indicators. So same thing with the MACD. Now, what I'm kind of worried about on the 1 hour is, will this lower high print? That's to be determined. Momentum is still to the upside. Now, these two are expanding from each other. These two lines are expanding away from each other, so that's usually an indication of momentum moving greater movement up in either direction. So if it's above the 0 line, then it's bullish. If it's below the 0 line and they're separating, that's bearish. So right now we are seeing bullish momentum really gain. Also, we're seeing this invalidation of the sell signal already. So there was some buffoonery, fuckery afoot, if you will. As well, now we're heading into the bullish control zone on the 1 hour RSI, and we got a bounce off of the moving average of the TMA, and we're not even in the oversold territory yet. So that's a good sign for continuation. Also, this TSI is showing as long as price is above 20.28, we're still heading up. So that's kind of everything I wanted to go over in regards to current price action. But everything looks pretty good. Not gonna lie, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn a lot, and there's like these legit hedge fund managers that were like boasting that they were shorting around this area. Okay, now I don't know if they were using leverage. I don't know if they were, um, holding out for a bigger move, because I mean, they could be right ultimately, right? Because this could just be one big bear flag, right? In intraday, like from the daily moves, from day-to-day moves, we're seeing bullish momentum to the upside. But it's kind of crazy, like just the fact that like certain hedge fund managers or brokers, if you will, were boasting that they were shorting around here, and I was like, I've been voicing my opinion that for days now. Sorry, my Discord's kind of going off right now. For about over a week now, I've been saying, hey, this is a broadening descending wedge. This is a bullish pattern, And a week later, guess what we're seeing? We're seeing bullishness. But then you see crypto Twitter's like 99%, well, that's a little over exaggerated, like 90% of people are just intraday bearish. And I'm just like, what are you looking at? Anyway, I'm going to be done with my rant. Yeah, continuation to the upside, phenomenal. I would say be very, very careful There is a parabola kind of taking place that I want to keep my eyes on. If this parabola breaks, then I will be concerned. That's literally the line in the sand for me. If I see an hourly close at any point of this parabola, I'm going to close my long, honestly. Because usually when the parabolas break, it's significant. So, anywho, I just want to say thank you very much for your time. Yeah, if you like this content, you find it valuable, please subscribe and share it with your friends who are struggling with trading or just want to get more semblance on what's really going on in terms of price. Anywho, take care. Bye.